Hello everyone and welcome to F1 Manager 24 My Team Career Mode Episode 2. Yet again, we're back for more. The response on Episode 1 was absolutely awesome and we're going to continue for the time being. Hopefully you guys look forward to it, hopefully you appreciate me continuing the series, and we're going to jump into Round 2 at Jeddah. Round 1 Bahrain will be linked on screen in the top right. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But let's get into today's episode and let's see what's new. Now we begin with emails because we have a few things to take care of. So Joe Loke wants an extra 10 grand, so we'll go ahead and give him what he wants. So let's see if he accepts. Okay, so I've gone over it again and we've now sweetened the pot. So decent salary, we've reduced the breakout multiplier, we've also given him a slightly better signing bonus and also increased the offer deadline. So hopefully this should get the job done. Hopefully. Now I gave him 28 days to respond to that, so we might not hear back right away. In the meantime, pit crew training, and this of course a new feature, or at least to me anyway in this game, it wasn't in 22. Now, the one glaring weakness we have really is car building. Everything else in the 60s. Also, maybe used tyres off, new tyres on could do with some work, but the car building is a bit of a deficiency. So we are going to retrain to kind of improve that a little bit. We'll keep the drills unbalanced. I don't think it's maybe worth messing. To be fair, actually, we could tweak this a little bit. If we can get one which helps, you know, use tyres off, new tyres on. We'll go tyres and see if hopefully that helps us a little bit. Now, last episode we did upgrades, of course, which if we go into the warehouse, you'll see here. So car part development, we did a front wing and a rear wing, which apparently will arrive in 8 days' time. So I don't think we'll have it on the car for Jeddah. The ATR period has ended, so we used all our allocation on those two upgrades, which is perfect. So we'll skip ahead. So with that done, we now arrive at Jeddah. We are pending, of course, a response from Joe Loke on contract status. No change to our drivers. Updates arrive in 4 days, so hopefully for the next race we'll have the updates on the car. For now, we are running it back with the exact same machine. Now, one thing I wanted to show you guys was the standings after that first race. So as you can see, we're 5th in the constructors after scoring 3 points with Alonso in the race. In the drivers, Alonso of course with that P9, Schwartzman finishing P13, and then even in the DL12 fastest pit stop, we are 6th, so mid-table. Either way, a good start to proceedings, but we now jump into weekend 2 in Jeddah. Now for this one, we are not going to be too aggressive. Again, we'll just set a 10th place goal for Alonso. We're not going to overdo it. As for Schwartzman, I went 16th last time. For this one, we're going to go 14th. I'm going to give this one a bit more of a shot and try and make it work. So let's get into it. So another weekend, and we know what we're doing now. We've kind of, it's like riding a bike. You know what you're doing second time around after doing it the first and struggling. So we're going to get the car sorted out, set up, conservative run modes. You guys know the drill by now, and we'll see if hopefully we can try and get optimal setup on both cars.
Yeah, I did a mistake.
Now we're watching the action closely here. Oh, and they need to be watching those track limits.
On the outlap there right away, Schwartzman locking up. I was going to say, if you guys didn't know, you can set your drivers to, limit wear. So you click on the driver, avoid high-risk curbs, driving cleaner to hopefully save the engine and just make the car, last a bit longer. We have tweaked the livery a little bit, so some subtle changes, the tyres, or the wheels should I say, the wheel covers now have a blue tinge to them, so kind of bringing the livery together. And also, there was a sponsor last episode which I put on the rear wing and a few parts of the car, which wasn't the right one, so I've now actually updated it to the correct one, so everything now is fully up to scratch.
Any feedback?
Yeah, struggling. Yeah, copy that. Any feedback on the car?
It didn't feel good.
And copy, understood.
I've never seen that before. Alonso on a 3%. Oh my days. Right, let's just go with this for now. It's so extreme, I have no idea if we're going to get anywhere close, but let's hopefully try and get it within range. Wow, so not just one, both drivers on 3%. Exact same problem for Schwartzman. Okay, we'll run with this for now. Again, just get it within the margins. Hopefully things will improve. Both cars are going to go for 20 laps again on fuel and same tyres. So let's get into it.
How's the balance?
car to drive. Okay, understood.
Right, well, Alonso happy with the car. That's good to see. Currently, they're both on track, pretty close to each other, you can see.
Update when you can.
Okay, so good for Schwartzman, not great.
Copy, noted.
Still progress and good recovery. Anyway, we're going to leave them out there. 9 minutes to go. We'll just let them drive and gather information. They both now have 100% car part knowledge, so that's good to know. Obviously, upgrades when they arrive, it's going to knock that back down again, but for now, they are fully familiar with the car, so hopefully we'll get an optimal rank this weekend. Also, there's been no incidents besides Schwartzman. Literally, not a single car has had an issue, so it's been a very smooth FP1. So, smooth FP1, like I said, no dramas. A couple of young drivers. Ayumu Iwasa in the car, Colapinto, Pato Award for McLaren as well, Chloe Chambers also for Haas. But we finish in P20 and P21. Not really much to rave about. Car still needs a lot of work, but still a good start, and hopefully we'll get there soon. Now for Alonso, this is a bit of an awkward one because the two green or turquoise lines are right in the middle. So optimal could literally be on either side on any of these values. Literally, they're all right in the middle. So we're going to go one way and hope it works. FP2, same as Bahrain, we're going to run mediums for a 20-lap run, and we'll basically run that medium again for another 20-lap run at the end. As for Schwartzman, I'm taking a bit of a guess, really. Braking stability is the big one, so we'll get that within the bracket, and we'll just see how the rest of the values line up. So much like Alonso, it's a bit of a guessing game. So both drivers on the same program, same tyres. So let's see what happens. Hopefully we can try and get that car dialed in. Only good. That's a bit of a concern. Interesting how the feedback came through earlier from him. So Alonso won't be far behind.
Everything okay? All good. Understood.
So we've also lost with Alonso. So the setup changes we made on both drivers. Because of the values are in the middle of the brackets, they've basically gone the wrong way. So they're going to be the other side. So we know what to do now to get that sorted out. So this one's a bit of a tricky one. I don't know if I can get this right based off these values. I need more information, more feedback. But we've gone a bit aggressive. The straights are a bit out of whack. We fixed the bad, so we should be closer. We should be pretty close. So yeah, same run plan, same tyres. We'll run that back with Robert. For Alonso, we have lost a little bit. The highest satisfaction was 81, so we are going to revert, and we're going to basically go in the other direction. Right then, this should be pretty close. Everything lines up perfectly right on the edges, so this will work pretty well. So let's see if hopefully we get closer now with both cars.
Any feedback?
Amazing.
Understood.
Beautiful. Alonso is buzzing. Optimal. Great stuff. Let's see what Schwartzman has to say.
Any feedback on the car?
Schwartzman's happy. Setup is perfect.
Understood.
Lovely jubbly. Right, let's end the session, let them run, and get some more data. So FP2 finished. Verstappen still setting the pace. We finished right at the bottom of the table, but we didn't really go for any big performance runs in that one. We did let them, push a little bit at the end. We opened up the engine and took them off conserve, but the tyres were like 50%. So yeah, that aside, look at that. 100 on both. Beautiful after FP2. So we're going to have a very short FP3. We're going to let them basically run to get 100 on everything, and then we'll jump into qualifying. So no need to really show you FP3. We'll get straight to the qualifying session and get into the business. Lovely. Both drivers locked in, ready to go. 100% across the board on everything. So this is going to be kind of it, really. The best we can show with our car.
We're moving on now to the all-important qualifying session.
Jeddah's high-speed street circuit is rather prone to yellow and red flags during qualifying, as drivers and walls often meet. Strategists will be looking for the perfect gap, but need to make sure drivers get their lap in.
There's been a bit of talk about Alex Albon, Karun. How are things looking for him today?
Looking at the lap times, we saw a real lack of pace from them in practice. They never looked quite comfortable with the setup, and they'll need to try something new for qualifying if they want to get past Q1.
So here we are, ready to resume.
So time for qualifying. Both drivers high on confidence. let's put that to the test. We're going to leave them both on a single flying lap for fuel. Hopefully we'll get through with just one lap and we can move into Q2. Just like in Bahrain. We'll let a little bit of time tick over, as if we do go for another run, it'll only be one more, not three. So we'll kill a bit of time, get some lap times on the board, and then we'll deal with it. Right then, both drivers on track. I've tried to find some space, and we have been successful. So we've got relatively clear track. Alonso's going to encounter Perez, and now Schwartzman will encounter him. But other than that, smooth.
Currently P10.
I was going to say smooth running, but
P6.
I feel like Fernando might have had a bit of traffic. Also, looking at the gaps, both Mercs, Verstappen down there as well. We're going to have to go again with Alonso, I think. So we'll send him out on those same tyres and hopefully we can improve. I've sent Alonso out early to try and avoid traffic. So he's at the front of the queue. Schwartzman stayed in garage. We're not going out with him. We're going to trust that lap is going to be enough. Alonso improves in Sector 1 and Sector 2. Over the line. And there we go, P8. Schwartzman down to 11th. Currently 3 cars have crossed the line behind who are finished. Make that 4. So I think Schwartzman's going to be through here. And there we go, Bottas, Zhou don't improve. Hamilton out in Q1 in 18th place. The big scalp in that one. And confirmation, so as you can see, Alonso breaks the top 10. Schwartzman 13th. Only a 10th between them. But Lewis Hamilton, wow, that's a big one. Out by half a second as well. These guys are really slow. Traffic must have been a problem. Either way, we'll take it into Q2 with both cars for the second race in succession. Now Q2 begins and I have set both drivers to go for 2 flying laps. This is why I do the 2 flying laps, because Alonso got traffic on his first one. So if I'd left him on a second attempt, he would have got through. So even though they're both on a used tyre, because it's the tyre they used in Q1, we're still going to see what they do. Alonso currently flying on his lap and goes quite a bit quicker. There is a lot of traffic on track right now. Alonso's not improving. Schwartzman.
Currently P7.
At the moment, P8. Quite a good lap.
So, both drivers pretty close. Schwartzman didn't improve in the last sector and ultimately let him down, but generally not bad to say that's a used tyre. Right then, final run. We've sent both drivers out on a fresh soft tyre and a single flying lap of fuel. Traffic shouldn't be as much of a problem now in Q2. You can see they've both got clear track. So this is good stuff. Let's have a look then at Alonso here then. So currently personal best first sector, personal best middle. Does Schwartzman back it up as well? Yes, he does. Right, come on boys, got a few checkered flags. Magnus and Ricciardo already out. That's good to see. Can we get double Q3? Alonso, P8 right now. Does he improve? He does improve his time, but doesn't improve his position. Schwartzman then, next one over the line. And does go just behind Alonso, so the pace between them really close. P8, P9 as things stand. More cars yet to cross the line. Let's have a look then. So next one round is going to be Yuki Tsunoda. No, actually the next one round is going to be Alex Albon. Oh, who is that further back? That might be... Okay, that was Verstappen, so that was a rebel, ignore me. Hulkenberg crosses the line. Stays 10th, which is huge. Albon, Tsunoda gets 8th, just gets in front. So Schwartzman on the bubble. So Albon could potentially knock us out here. Correa on a lap. Russell, I think, is on a lap as well. Through the final corner. Let's see, Albon over the line. Does he knock out Schwartzman? No, he doesn't. So George Russell could be the one. And does. Alonso now at risk. Juan Manuel Correa, can he knock out Fernando Alonso, the man who, of course, drove that car? No, I think he's boxing. So there we go. That's all she wrote for Q2. So we do lose Schwartzman. Alonso just gets in. And there is confirmation. Still, a really good performance from Robert Schwartzman. He got 13th in Bahrain. That was an improvement. And also, crucially, was right on the pace. Within a 10th of Alonso, which is all you can ask for a young driver. So we'll take that. As for, Fernando, if this pace is true, then P8 could be under the cards. So let's find out. Now, we've sent Alonso out in Q3 on the tyre he just got through in Q2 with. Bit of a throwaway, just want to see.
Okay, that's P5. Okay, that's a good lap.
I'm not too sure. That's quite a way off. I think he might have had some traffic. Either way, we'll now strap on a fresh tyre and go for a one and done. Hopefully no traffic in this one. Right then, a minute to go. Sainz is the last car to start lap. We are the penultimate car. I've got Alonso to try and find a bit of clean air. But let's see then. What can Fernando do on this final attempt in qualifying? Surely there's a bit more time to find. Realistically, if we could get ahead of Stroll in P7, that would be nice. As Stroll actually improves by 2/10, so he's done for qualifying. Other cars crossing the line. Russell goes quicker to P7 now. Meanwhile, first sector, Alonso does not improve, but maybe that's not where the traffic was. Maybe the traffic was sector 2 or sector 3. Let's see then. Second sector split. What do we get from the two-time world champion? It's also not an improvement. This isn't what I had in mind, so it must be all in the last sector. Here we go then. Final corner. Alonso, what have you got for me, sunshine? Up to the line. Oof, that's not great. So a bit of a disappointing Q3. Alonso going near enough a second slower than he did in Q2. So, yeah, a bit of a shame, really. Either way, you can see, had he matched his Q2 time and maybe gone just a 10th quicker, we might have even got P7. So it could have happened. Either way, it's still going to be a top 10 and Schwartzman right behind. So we'll take that. Decent qualifying. Verstappen on pole, looking pretty quick. Let's get into the main event and let's see how the race goes.
The drivers are getting ready here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit, preparing for 50 flat-out laps under the lights.
Jeddah street circuit certainly makes the high speeds of F1 racing a thrilling affair. But even a world champion can be caught out in between the narrow walls, just as Max Verstappen found out in 2021.
Jeddah Corniche circuit is hot and high-powered, demanding speed for the straights and a high grip level through corners that are tight to the barriers. Starting tyre choices will be crucial here, with teams ever mindful of opportunities that a safety car could give. The excitement is building, there's electricity in the air, but there's no surprise in that, it's race day.
Now, interestingly, soft hard is the quickest strategy for this one, so I'm tempted to leave it as is. I don't think there's much to really find here. The difference in time is actually quite a bit, so we're going to run with it. They both have a fresh soft tyre, which, you know, we saved from qualifying, especially for Alonso, which is huge. So all we'll do is basically add a little dab of fuel in the car, which is helpful, as again, we consume a bit of fuel with the Mercedes engine. We're also going to put the cars to aggression at the start, which we did not do in Bahrain on lap 1 off the line, which will help us a little bit. So hopefully that should give us a decent start to this race. So let's get into it and let's try and go for more points in round 2.
Well, it's great to have you with us, folks, as we settle in for the weekend's Grand Prix action. And there's always a sense of excitement when it comes to talking about Max Verstappen.
They start in P1, but will they be able to stay there? The first corner could be so crucial.
Here we go. It's time to go racing. It's almost time for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Right then, underway. Off the line then, Alonso trying to be aggressive. Schwartzman goes around the outside. Both of our drivers side by side here into turn 1. This could get sketchy, but Schwartzman makes a move and jumps Alonso into the top 10. As for tyres, we do have a bit of a varied selection. Magnussen, the only hard tyre runner in the field. Alonso now trying to get back through on Schwartzman as we head through the S section. And Alonso's done it. That is a world-class overtake there from a world-class driver right there. Seems like everyone who started on soft probably had a fresh soft to go with, so there's no real advantage for us saving a soft tyre. So we have kind of lost that strategy element. Either way, let's settle into this race a little bit then, and let's see how things develop. So at the moment, just got to try and stay within DRS, of course, which is the primary focus. Alonso just dropping back a little bit from Stroll, Tsunoda on mediums, but hopefully he can make them soft tyres work and be able to catch up. Here we go then. Alonso this time does get it. Does he get DRS now though? No, he doesn't. So Stroll's probably going to go straight back through, and he does. This is now costing us time because Tsunoda's breaking away. They're still side by side. They've been side by side the whole lap. You could fit a piece of paper between their wheels. Oh my god, this is still going on. Stroll now with the DRS surely gets in front and gets it done. Right, we're going to have to reassess here. So Russell has lost DRS with the top 6 and Tsunoda's battling with him. So it's a bit like Bahrain all over again, really. So we want to try and get involved in that scrap. So we're going to set both of our cars to deploy. And I want to see if we can try and get Stroll and hopefully drive off. So we're going to go attack as well on tyres. How are we doing for tyre wear? Okay, not too bad. A little bit better than Perez, Leclerc and Norris. So let's push a little bit and see how this all turns out. So Alonso will now have DRS on the pit straight and should be able to clear. Schwartzman also goes, and my hope now is that both of our cars can work together here. Yellow flag. Juan Manuel Correa at the back.
Okay, there's a car in the barriers. Possible debris.
Right, let's have a look as we go into turn 4.
Let's have a look then.
Within a split second, the impact's made. And that's not what they would have had in mind when they woke up this morning.
Doesn't seem like big damage, but pulled off a nice little 360 there. Not quite able to drop Stroll, but we have dropped Albon, or about to actually. To be fair, Stroll has just dropped. Does he open up the DRS now? That's going to be the big question. Both of our drivers running a bit low, and Stroll does get DRS, but the gap is 1.2 to be fair. So I think Stroll might have lost it. Albon still has DRS on Stroll, so if hopefully those two can battle, that'd be ideal. But Schwartzman and Alonso have disappeared, and now we've caught up to this battle. So it's game on now. So we are going to harvest and we're going to save.
Charge button on. Charge button on.
Schwartzman has just dropped out of DRS range, so we will need to push on a little bit here. So we'll go into top up mode and hopefully we'll catch back up. Alonso will go through with DRS and should grab DRS from the cars ahead and basically keep the train intact. There we go, lovely. Going to try light in terms of their driving style to see if we can save a bit of tyres. We've burnt through our rubber a little bit compared to those on softs, so I want to just try and recover, especially Schwartzman. We are going to knock it into neutral now on battery for both drivers. Still burning through the fuel, but I'm trying to save tyres at this stage. That's what I'm looking for. Alonso's out of DRS range, so we need Schwartzman to try and close back in here. He does have a DRS overtake on Alonso. Goes through. Do we get DRS? Yes, we do. Massive. Absolutely massive. I want to try conserve and see if we can get away with it. I've also knocked the engine to standard because I feel like it was overheating the engine a bit. Alonso just dropping back out of DRS range, so Schwartzman should repass. So it does seem like Tsunoda and Russell have broken away again here, so we're going to have to reassess this one. So we will put them back into standard. We'll get back on the fuel push. And we'll trust that they can get back within range with Tsunoda and Russell battling, hopefully. Having to go deploy. We're not catching. The battery is the most powerful thing. So we need to just basically get a good old-fashioned battery DRS pass. Schwartzman's trying to go through, but it is hesitating a little bit. Come on, boys. We've got to try and close in. We've used a lot of battery. Need to get within a second, but they're also battling, which is not good. I could put an order out, but I want to trust that we'll catch. Come on, Fernando. One last push here, Sunshine.
Recharge on. Copy.
I'm refusing to push on tyres if possible. I feel like we're losing a lot of time though. Wheel-to-wheel combat. Gap now over 2 seconds. Gap now over 3 seconds. Stroll's got between us. And is probably the quicker driver on those mediums right now, so maybe he's the right man for the job. The gap's now to 4. It went to 5 seconds there. Our drivers are battling just a bit too much. This is interesting. Sonoda pits. Right then. Now they're swapping pretty well, but might be too little too late. I've got them pushing on their tyres now as well because we're going to be boxing soon. Now they're losing time. This keeps happening. Really inefficient. But if, well, in past games when you set a driver to not fight teammate, they go really, really slow. So I'm scared of doing it. So, we are going to bring Schwartzman in. We're going to break these two up and try to sort our race out. At the minute, I think we're just on for a point, really. For Alonso, we'll go push and we'll see what he can do. So, we'll leave him in neutral. Don't want to burn the battery with Alonso. For Schwartzman, we'll turn everything down for the pits. And we'll see if hopefully we can make this work. We'll ignore that with Alonso for now. I want to try maybe go a few extra laps. But right now, it's Schwartzman time. So let's see. Into the pit lane we go. On the jack. Back down. Beautiful. 2.5.
And what's a wide line on exit?
So excellent stuff. We rejoin just ahead of a very fast recovering Lewis Hamilton. So we'll have to watch out for that one. We'll leave him in standard modes. Hopefully he can try and keep up with Sir Lewis Hamilton, who is actually on soft. So I think Hamilton's on a 2-stopper. So interesting strategy choice. Hamilton overtakes Schwartzman pretty easily. Lewis passes Schwartzman with ease.
Opportunity begging to be taken.
Good old-fashioned DRS overtake, of course. I think we're going to call it in with Alonso. We've done a couple of extra laps. So we're going to bring him in for the hards and go for that one stop. We will turn everything down again to let him save a little bit, and we'll see how it goes.
Box this lap.
Right then, can we get another good stop? Russell's in as well. In we go. Not bad, 2.8. Schwartzman definitely getting the better stops.
Keep an eye on your mirrors, please.
Rejoining. Looks like just behind Schwartzman, so we've been unsuccessful in trying to break them up.
You're P14.
At the minute, Alonso's going to drop out of range with Schwartzman, and Schwartzman out of Albon. So they're all spreading out. I just want to go like 4 or 5 laps and see how the race develops before we start tweaking things too much. Don't want to eat into these tyres. So Schwartzman's struggling to keep up with Albon, so Alonso's going to pass him here. And that should reform the DRS train with Albon, although Schwartzman cannot follow. Hamilton 2-stopping, Tsunoda 2-stopping, Sainz in the pit lane. This is interesting, really varied strategies. Stroll finally pits as well, off that medium tyre. Where does Stroll rejoin? Ahead of us. So he's overcut us pretty easily. And he's on a fresh hard tyre, so he's going to be looking pretty decent for the rest of this race. I've put Schwartzman to deploy whilst running light on tyres, also pushing on fuel here. I want to just try and get, well, stick with Alonso more like, if possible. He's dropped Albon, so we can knock it.
And just a reminder on DRS.
Medium safety car. Safety car deployed. So through the chicane.
But oh, they can't avoid making contact. And that's one surefire way to put a dampener on your weekend.
That's a big hit. Right, well, that changes everything. So, DRS disabled. Let's get the drivers into conserve modes. Let's get everything charged up. A medium at this stage surely has to be quite an appealing prospect. Hamilton has to stop, as does Tsunoda, which would give us P9, P10. We've got 2 fresh mediums, so I am going to go for it with both cars. We're going to put mediums on both, and we're going to go to the end. Now, the only problem here is, of course, we're going to have to double stack. Now, we can't really afford a slow stop. Albon's right there. He's going to get Schwartzman, so hopefully we keep Alonso in front. Right then, one goes in. It's an okay stop. Schwartzman, 2.5. We'll take that. That's good enough. So, just lost out to Albon there, which isn't too bad. Both cars on mediums. Albon also on mediums. Got a few more hard tyre runners and a few soft tyre runners, so we're going to have to go pretty long.
Far behind is no Albon.
we'll go neutral. We'll just keep the fuel on for the rest of the race, basically, because we have to burn it. But everything else will be standard, and hopefully we can run at a decent pace. Currently, no points, but that could change. Back underway then. Schwartzman fending off an attack from Hulkenberg. Alonso fending off Albon. It's going to be hard for Alonso to keep up with both Mercedes in front. Just hanging on to the Mercs. Feels like we're just a bit slow in this one. Feel like we have more pace in Bahrain. Need I say more? Look at the train of cars behind Robert Schwartzman right now. This is really awkward. What do we do here? I'm going to set both drivers to deploy.
Okay, use deploy.
Yep.
And a little bit of tyres.
And we need to increase pushing status.
Alonso is back behind Hamilton, so we can dial it right back down. Stroll, Piastri have all broken away, but Stroll's currently holding up the train for 7th place, so the battle's back on. Schwartzman, though, unable to catch up. Trying to save a bit of tyres with Alonso, who's doing a good job. Schwartzman just out of range. We're going to have to accept defeat here.
And try to cool down the tires as much as possible.
We need to trust
On, charge button on.
Copy.
that Alonso can deliver the points again. Schwartzman's dropped out of Ricciardo's DRS. We've dropped Albon, which is good. Ricciardo is pushing along on that soft tyre, so I'm going to try and get Schwartzman back up there with Danny Rick. Alonso's saving tyres right now, so this is wonderful. The more tyres we have at the end, the more we can play with. House money. You can see Alonso's got really good tyre wear, matching those on hard, so this is really working well for us. He's just hanging onto DRS and behaving, and that's exactly what we need. We'll knock it from top up to neutral, but we'll go on tyre save for a bit longer here because this is really working well for us. Right now, this is a scrap for 7th spot. For all the marbles, big points on the agenda. I'm going to even try and go conserve here to see if we could try and save some more tyres. Ricciardo's caught up to Alonso, and if we can bring Schwartzman in, that just would be huge because they're battling. Alonso goes through on Russell. That's huge. I can smell that P7. It's right there. What is our tyre status? Oh, look at that. 8% better tyres than Lewis. And we've got nearly 20 more than Tsunoda. Stroll's got some pretty knackered hard tyres. He's really taken a lot out of them. So we are looking pretty good here. We'll try and push in the last 2 laps. We'll try and save a bit more tyres if we can. Meanwhile, Schwartzman just chilling behind Ricciardo. Right then, Tsunoda's lost DRS. Alonso, time to make a move, sunshine. We're going to knock it into aggressive. We're going to push on fuel as well. We need to catch back up. Hamilton's 2.5 up the road, so we need to go. This is costing us time now. Tsunoda's struggling on those softs. Come on. A DRS pass. Straight through. Lovely. Going to push with Schwartzman now. Last attack. Use everything. Ricciardo's caught back up to the train. Alonso's nearly there. We need to get DRS. We've dropped Tsunoda, which is huge, because that also opens up the possibility of a point for Schwartzman if he can clear the 3 cars ahead. Alonso closing, and he does get DRS, which is massive. I'm going to harvest for a bit. I just want to hold station here. Meanwhile, Schwartzman, look at this. He's on it. He's absolutely on it. We will just knock it down a bit with Schwartzman here. We'll save that bit of battery for the end.
So this is what happened. Now we're watching the action closely here.
Schwartzman
Decide to give it a go.
gets it done at turn 1, turn 2. That's a quality pass, and suddenly we're on for points with both cars. Alonso's on for P7, Schwartzman on for P10. So this is it now. A full push with Alonso to the end. This is also helping Schwartzman by giving him DRS. This could work out really well for us. Right, it's time to go. Schwartzman, attack mode. And we're going to deploy whatever you have left. So he's currently in his own battle, you can see, with Russell Tsunoda right behind. Alonso, meanwhile, this is it. I've left him on full push mode. We've saved the tyres. And this is it for P7. This is what we're here for. Stroll's getting away. We need to put a move on Lewis. And Alonso's done it. He's gone for it. We might just pull this off. Schwartzman. is in the clear. Out of battery, but he's in the clear. It's now Alonso. Can we get P7? A race where there was nothing for us to fight for. Now could be our best
Charles Leclerc is today's winner.
result of the season. Here we go. We can't even watch the race winner. We're the live action. Alonso ran the outside of Stroll. His former teammate rounds the final corner up to the line.
Pack is low.
P7, Fernando Alonso and Robert Schwartzman,
Okay, that's the checkered flag.
P10. Take a bow.
P7.
Tough race, not our chance yet, but it will come.
Checkered flag. Okay, so P10.
Decent result. Both drivers not fully happy, but I think that's
And into the pit lane.
a very decent finish. We'll take that. Very happy with that.
And that's another race done for Fernando Alonso.
7th place at the end of that one, and some points for the team.
Out and onto the podium steps Charles Leclerc, the driver from Monaco, really deserving of that top 3 spot.
That gives them their first win of the season, and it was really well deserved.
And finally now the drivers can relax after an eventful weekend at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Well, Karun, how do you think they'll be feeling in the team garage at the end of that?
They did okay today, I'd say. I mean, we're talking about such a competitive field, and all things considered, the drivers did all right.
Okay then, and a big thank you to everyone for joining us this weekend here in Jeddah.
And for the next round, Formula One is heading down under. Exciting times ahead in Australia on the shores of the Albert Park Lake.
I feel like Karun was a bit harsh there, much like the drivers, just generally expecting more from us in our second ever race in Formula 1. Still, P7, P10, both drivers gained places in the race. What not to love? What a brilliant performance. Charles Leclerc though wins, Sainz won the opener, so Ferrari go back to back in this 2024 season. In the Drivers' Championship, Leclerc is your championship leader, Alonso 8th and climbs the place, and Schwartzman with his first point up to 11th, so very happy with that. In the Constructors, we're 5th. We don't change position, but we increase our lead over Aston Martin by 3 points, and we now have double what they do. Only 4 points behind Mercedes, surprisingly, so a very impressive start to the season, and yeah, very, very happy. What a brilliant race. Now, of course, we also have the DHL fastest pit stop, which I didn't really focus on too much in round 1, but we did have the 4th best stop with Schwartzman, that very first stop, which was excellent, to be fair, really, really good. You can see in the rankings, we're 4th, so we climbed 2 spots. So a little mini championship up for grabs as well, as Ferrari also lead the way in this one. Both drivers hit their race target bonus, so again, more cash. Happy, happy days. We're going to leave it there. Hopefully you enjoyed, really happy. We also get our replacement spare parts tomorrow on the simulation. So guys, like the video, subscribe. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. As always, a big shout out to the members for supporting the channel, the content, the videos. And yeah guys, hopefully you really enjoy this one. We go to Australia next, hoping to get more points in round 3 and keep this really good start to the season up for our team. So guys, cheers for watching. A big shout out to the members as always. Check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. And yeah guys, cheers for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. And that's goodbye from me.